Thank you for being with me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. We are closely together watching this tropical wave. It is a strong tropical wave, tropical disturbance, if you will. That's a cluster of rain and storms that I watch out for signs of development. This is approaching the Caribbean. It is going to work its way into parts of the Eastern Caribbean for us, and I'll be watching that island by island through the week ahead. We are not in action mode. We're not even in monitor mode. We're just kind of watching this together. Thousands of new subscribers to this channel. If you are new, I do this for safety, for accuracy. This is not a scary channel. I value your time, your resources. I could give you a list of those scary channels out there. I just want to give you the factual information from what I'm seeing with this tropical wave. Now, it does have my attention, right? I do believe it is going to develop a little bit over the next couple of days. I have to see how much. It should weaken some as it approaches us in the Caribbean, right? There should be some weakening down the road, but I'm not set on that yet. So I need about another day to kind of really monitor this to let you know if we do need to go into monitor mode or eventually action mode. But I got you covered right here. If this ramps up quickly, I'll be able to give you far advanced warning. So right now, again, we're just watching this together, and we're going to do a lot of this, right, as we go through the hurricane season. We're going to have a lot of these strong tropical waves. So this one is better organized, and it should get better organized. I do believe it has a decent chance at becoming a tropical depression. That is one step below a tropical storm. It could become a tropical storm, no doubt. That's a possibility. But as this approaches the Caribbean, it should strengthen a little bit for a couple of days, and then it should weaken because of some wind shear. And you can see it here. This is the European model. I know some of the maps are a little bit different, but I like to give you everything. Here we are in the Caribbean. This is trying to find some signs of development, and you see these brighter colors right in here, right where that tropical wave is. The European model is giving this tropical wave about an 80% chance of developing into a tropical depression, a classified system. So there is a chance in a day or two this may get a track or something like that. But then you see down the road, you lose some of those brighter colors as it approaches us in the Caribbean. That's because there should be high wind shear. Wind shear in the hurricane season is a good thing. As showers and storms build up in these tropical areas, wind shear comes across, high winds above our heads and knocks apart some of the developing thunderstorm tops, and that's a good thing. So in the short term, there should be development. In the long term, there should be weakening. But again, I don't just look at the models, I look at everything behind the scenes, and I do note that our water temperatures, they're always warm this time of year, but they have been warming, especially in parts of the northern Caribbean and the northeastern Caribbean. So while this should weaken because of the wind shear above our heads, I'm watching down at the surface, and the water temperatures are very warm. So I'm not set yet on this area completely weakening. So as I mentioned, about a day or so, I'm going to watch it further and let you know everything that I'm seeing with this. So let me show you now the American model and then the European model. Here's a look at us in the Caribbean. We swing out here. Here's this tropical disturbance. There's the coast of Africa, just to orient you. Here's Puerto Rico, Dominica, Barbados, Trinidad, back through here. So as we go out in time, a couple days here. This is Monday. And I'll zoom down in a moment for us in the Caribbean and severe weather in parts of the U.S. We'll cover that in a second. But here's this area. There's going to be a front approaching Bermuda. This area of high pressure, that's like a blocker, keeps it down to the south. But the area of high pressure moves away. It slides off toward the east as this front starts to move in. Well, what does that mean? As this front moves in, it will allow this area to curve a little bit more toward the north, just a bit more toward the north. Instead of moving due west, it'll start to curve a little bit. But you see here by Tuesday, the American model has it just looks like an area of rain, and that's what it could be. Has this area weakening, and then this would be by Wednesday, it's just an area of rain. So as I mentioned, the next couple of days there could be strengthening, but like the American model is showing, it then shows it starting to weaken and then sliding into us as we work our way into Thursday. You see some additional rain kind of curving a little bit more up to the north, and no doubt I'm watching that too. This area of rain that would be sitting closer to to Guyana and Trinidad. I'll watch out for that. And then we'll be watching this. There's going to be some rain building, swinging around. I'll cover this in a moment. Back in the Gulf that could develop a little bit. But the American model has this tropical wave weakening, but that still could mean a flood threat. On the flip side, some of us need to get some rain. Sometimes the tropics could be a very good thing, as we know, filling up the cisterns, all of that sort of thing. But I just want to watch this to make sure it doesn't develop too much. So here we are in the Caribbean. This here is the European model. Here's that blocker, that area of high pressure I mentioned, keeping this down toward the south as it just kind of works its way off toward the west the next couple of days. The European model does show this area trying to develop into a tropical depression. A classified system gets a track, all that fancy stuff. This here is by tomorrow, and you still see it here and going out in time into Monday. That's when it could be a tropical depression, and if it strengthens quickly, there is a chance this could be a tropical storm. The next name on the list is Dexter. Now, the European model, as we go out in time further, there's that area of high pressure I showed you, just sliding off toward the east as that next front moves in. So that allows us to kind of jog its way a little bit more to the north, and that's important because as we watch down the road for the chance of some flooding, for example, Trinidad, this should be to the north, but then that would mean over toward St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, Barbuda, we'd be watching out for a better chance of some rain. This here is by Wednesday. It's still showing a spin, but nothing too strong. And then watching this area back behind it, there's going to be more tropical waves, big ones that we'll be watching. Here's that front up to the north, allowing this just to move a little bit more up to the north. But this area at this point should weaken because of that wind shear, those higher winds coming across, helping this area fall apart just in time as it works its way into the Caribbean. But with that said, by the time we get into Thursday, we're going to see that additional rain moving in for our kind of our central and northern islands, say Dominica to the north, even St. Lucia to the north, better chance of some of that rain. And then watching another tropical wave back behind it. We're going to have a lot to track, but I just want to make sure that this will weaken before it moves in. So give me about another day and I'll be able to fine tune that for you with new updates. Now, looking at some of the bigger models, the American model has this almost as a tropical depression, but not quite. I showed you that. That's also called the GFS. The European model that I just showed you does have it becoming a tropical depression or even a tropical storm, which would be Dexter. Canadian model and Icon model kind of go back and forth as of now, no storm. But just watching this, if it does get its act together over the next day or so and get stronger quickly, it would then become a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Now, we're going to watch it approach. I'll swing up to the north in just a second. We're going to watch it approach. The next couple of days, spotty showers and storms, watching those. Costa Rica and Panama, a little bit more hit or miss. Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica. Boy, we've had some spots that have been just so dry. This here is tomorrow afternoon. Hit or miss showers and storms around. And then we're really drawing our attention. This here is Monday, watching this tropical disturbance, tropical wave, whatever you want to call it, trying to work closer. So as we go on time into the upcoming week, our attention will be there. But I'll be watching everything. You can see some of the rainstorms, parts of Central America, but by the time we get into Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be seeing that higher chance of rain as we swing back toward the Eastern Caribbean, and we'll know in about a day or so if that will try to develop. Now watch this. Watch what happens here. I want to swing to the north as we talk about some tropical development. Heavier storms possible. Parts of Quebec swinging back toward even Ontario, down through the Great Lakes. Bermuda, chance of some rain. Mid-Atlantic, that chance of some flooding. I'll zoom down into that in just a moment, but we're getting a lot of big fronts that are sliding by over toward New Brunswick. Better chance of rain. Prince Edward Island tomorrow. Back toward Newfoundland, and there's more of the rain. Very active pattern through the mid-Atlantic of the U.S. But what's going to happen here as we work our way into Monday, you see that there's a big spot of rain there. We're going to still continue with that flood potential in New Mexico. There's been significant flooding with that monsoon flow coming out of Mexico, watching new systems pooling into western and central Canada. But that old tropical disturbance back in the northern Gulf that did move in, some of this moisture is going to swing back into the Gulf, and it may try to develop a little bit as we get deeper into next week. So there's going to be a lot of areas to track. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Sometimes that moisture just doesn't get caught up in the fronts and it just kind of filters back around over the warm waters. Now, watching the chop in the Caribbean, central, western Caribbean over the next couple of days. But as we work our way into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, this here is by Wednesday of next week, you see those Atlantic passageways. No doubt the waters are going to get higher with that new tropical disturbance moving in, and keeping an eye on these areas coming off the coast of the United States. And this is that area, higher seas, but with it, some of that rain that may work its way back across parts of Florida, the Bahamas, into the Gulf, and may try to develop a little bit by the time we get into next week. And through here, we're looking at hit or miss showers, storms, kind of spotty nature. Very hot, of course, this time of year if we're not getting a storm. Hit or miss Jamaica, Cayman Islands, the DR, Haiti, Cuba will get some scattered storms. A couple of spotty storms possible back through Puerto Rico. May get 1 or 2 U.S. and British Virgin Islands, but in through here, St. Martin, St. Bart's, Saba, Statia, we're watching everything that is off toward the east of us. Trinidad, better chance of rain. Hit or miss Dominica, Martinique, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, and still watching over toward Guyana and parts of Suriname for that higher chance of rain. Western sections and kind of interior Venezuela will watch out for that flood threat. Same thing, parts of Colombia, mainly just to the south, but Costa Rica, Panama, we could get some spots over 100 millimeters of rain. And we've had some spotty showers and storms for us. Parts of Belize, Honduras, Roatan, we had a big shower storm passing by yesterday, kind of early on in some spots. And then you could see here that western spine of Mexico, watching out for showers and storms. Cancun, Merida, not a lot, but this kind of up and around pattern bringing in that chance of additional flooding back toward parts of New Mexico. And then you get in through here. This is where that heavier rain is going to be, but this is the moisture where you could get 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, Tennessee River Valley, that will eventually swing back around and work its way back into the Gulf. And I'll be watching that as we work our way into next week. So 40% chance of a shower or storm. It's one of those patterns. If we get a storm, it's going to be strong because of all that daytime heating, but then others just way too dry. 30% chance over the next couple of days in the Cayman Islands, 40 to 50% chance back through Trinidad and Tobago, 20 to 30% chance in Barbados, and just about a 20% chance the next couple of days in St. Lucia, 40 to 50% chance some scattered showers possible in Grenada, and a 20 to 30% chance St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Rain chance holding at 30%, passing shower for today, Martinique. 20 to 30% chance in Dominica. That generally holds in Guadeloupe. Could get a passing shower all the way into early next week. 20% chance of rain in Antigua, Barbuda. Still monitoring some of that leftover dust in our atmosphere. St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, rain chance 20 to 30%. And just a 20% chance as of now in Anguilla and St. Bart's, but we're watching that strong tropical wave. St. Martin, Saba, Statia, rain chance at 20%. Scattered storms, so possible, back through Puerto Rico. If you get one, it could be quite strong. Meanwhile, as we work our way from Tortola back towards St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, just about a 20% chance of a shower. Bahamas, rain chance isolated. Could get a rumble of thunder, 30% chance. Turks and Caicos, we are mainly dry. Scattered storms, though, possible across the Dominican Republic the next couple days, even up to a 40% chance for us in Haiti by tomorrow. And holding on to now a 40% chance of spotty showers and storms in Belize. Some of us still too dry, but others getting a few showers and storms. Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire, rain chance kind of bumping up a little bit, up to about a 30% chance, and we'll see how those new tropical waves progress through the Caribbean. Guyana, higher chance of rain today, dropping off a little bit by Monday, and looking at that 60% chance in Suriname. Isolated thunderstorms across Cuba today, 60% chance of rain, Costa Rica and Panama, 50% chance in Nicaragua, and about a 30 to 40% chance over the next couple of days back through Honduras. Isolated showers around Guatemala and El Salvador have had that little reprieve that we sometimes get in the summer. 60 to 70% chance. Watching some flooding, though, around Mexico City. And you see the Yucatan Peninsula, we're mainly on the dry side. 40 to 50% chance in northern Colombia. 60% chance the next couple of days in northern Venezuela. But as I showed you, watching that front getting closer to Bermuda, we'll be seeing that chance of some rain as we go throughout the day today as that front moves in. So that tropical wave getting closer. It should start to develop. It's just a matter of kind of how much and how long that hangs together. I'm going to monitor that progress closely, but either way, we'll be watching that flood threat that will be building, and I'll be monitoring that island by island. Thank you for being part of this weather community, and have a great day ahead.